The universe is yours to shape in crafting the cosmos. Thank you for joining us at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp.
I'm Kevin Delp. Crafting the Cosmos is a resource management goal fulfillment game for 2 to 4 players that takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play.
It's designed by David Gordon and Tam and published by Office Dog.
The publisher sent us this review copy.
This one right there. In this video, we're going to do a quick overview of the game and then discuss our opinions.
Crafting the Cosmos is played over a number of rounds. During a round, each player will take a turn.
Turns have 2 phases. The energy phase, where you collect resources, and the crafting phase, where you use the resources to create your galaxy.
The energy phase takes place on the main board. You can move your energy ball and the neutral black balls clockwise a combined total of 3 spaces. One of the movements has to be your energy ball.
Once you finish moving energy, you collect resources. You gain the active reward for the section containing your energy ball. Then you gain passive rewards for each section equal to the number of energy balls they contain, plus any of your power tokens.
After you collect your resources, you begin the crafting phase. Most of this will happen on your own player board. You'll place stars around a nebula in order to complete it. You'll try to surround completed nebula with proto-life and stabilized life in order to find advanced life.
Certain benefits will allow you to move life in stars or turn regular stars into supernovas, which count as a wild element. The energy cards you collect can be turned in for power cards. Power cards give you special abilities and unlock your power tokens.
Reaching level 6 on the time chamber track rewards you with a free star and points.
Once you finish crafting, your turn is over. None of your resources can be carried over. After everyone has taken a turn, the round ends.
At the end of the round, you advance the goal cards along the track. When a card reaches the end of the track, you'll score it. The game ends when either the last goal card has been scored or the pool of time crystals has been depleted.
At the end of the game, you add your advanced life points to your score, and then the player with the most points wins. Now, I know that was a very quick overview, but we'll go over some more of the details of the gameplay as we talk about our opinions.
We're separating the video into 4 C's: our thoughts on components, our critiques, our commendations, and finally, our conclusions. Let's start with the components.
So I really like the main game board and how it works with the marble tray, moving the marbles around. It's also basically the storage for the game.
Yeah,
so
it's in the box bottom, right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it has places for most of the pieces, and then it does slide. It pulls out of the box bottom and goes back in very easily because of the cutouts.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the design of that main game board and storage solution worked well.
Good. Yeah, and the player boards are inset as well. You have a good indentations for not only there's planets that you're putting down. You can actually like push down on them and turn
the
them.
Nebulas.
The nebula you can flip over easily, but also your score track around the outside of your board to keep track. Katie, when we did our playthrough, if you watch our playthrough, sponsored by Office Dog. Now, in the playthrough, Katie actually is moving the marble around.
Oh, like kind of playing with it along the track beforehand.
Yeah. Very well laid out.
Yeah, worked very well for gameplay. One thing that wasn't my favorite for component-wise was the colors of the blue marbles and the black marbles. Okay. So it's kind of a dark, one of the player colors is a dark blue, and then you have the black marbles, and you can move the neutral black marbles and your own marble. So you just had to, if you're not playing in good lighting, it could be a little tricky to distinguish that blue marble from the black ones. Not insurmountable, but just something to be aware of.
I will say, though, overall, the components are really different than a lot of other board games. You have the, proto-life that are green on one side and then become the advanced life on the other side. So that's kind of, well, they're not advanced.
It's purple and green.
Purple
It starts
and green.
purple and then you turn it to green.
And those are like really cool to play with. They're really small, so you have to be a little dexterous in that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that shape before.
Right. And then the other thing that's a different shape are the stars, too. Those all come, if you see them in the video, they all come like that. You don't have to like put them together, put stickers on. A lot of games nowadays, you have to like put stickers on. It all comes together. And they're pretty cool. They could flip upside down because you have the supernovas on the one side. So, yeah.
Yeah, really cool components that will catch your eye as you're walking by a table and go, ooh,
what is going on
that? So definitely a thumbs up on the components.
All right, let's move to our critiques.
So that time chamber track.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Kevin has really done well with this. There are a lot of points on that track because as you fill it, you get the points. I think 15 and 21 are some of the final points on there. And most other things you're doing max out. I think the highest point nebula is about 10 points and the highest advanced life is 8 points. So it seems like that track is really important and is one of the end game triggers. So someone like Kevin who likes to rush a game is definitely going to play into that. So I guess my critique is that I don't think you can ignore it.
Can't ignore it, but I will say if you want to do well in the time chamber track, you have to probably get some good, at least one good bonus card, maybe two that sort of work well so that you can go up that track faster, because other people can get a lot of points by flipping those nebulas around. But I will say I can do the time chamber track and I can also be getting flipping those nebula or getting the nebula at the same time. I found that as you, and we'll get into this maybe in our commendations, as you get more experience, you can actually do a lot more in the game.
Yes. So anyway, if you're playing with Kevin, watch out for him flying up that time chamber track.
Another critique is you are going to be at the mercy of other players in this game. Especially at higher player counts, some things could get blocked. At 4 players, there's only 3 spots for marbles in the different action spots around the board, and you're trying to get, there's 4 different main actions that you're trying to accomplish, and you could get blocked in a 4-player game. And even in a lower player count game, it might not be to your benefit to even move some of those black balls around because you're spending all those action points that, get the maximum of 3 just to move some things around. You're like, well, you have to move yours. And then you're like, do I want to move the black balls? If they're in a okay spot, it may not be to your benefit.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely, I found a couple times either I couldn't get my marble into the main action I wanted, maybe because it was too far away, or it would be very inefficient to get where I wanted to go. So sometimes I felt like I had to not necessarily waste a turn, but do something less profitable and hope that I have the opportunity to get my marble where I want it the next time. A tiny critique is that this game doesn't have player aids.
Okay.
I really like games where there's something each player can have to look at, to remind them of things. Now, I don't think this is a difficult game. Once you understand the iconography, it flows pretty well. It's understandable.
There's 2 main phases.
Right. So it's not broken without a player aid. It was just like a little wish that would be nice that some of the information could be there, since I end up usually being the game teacher for everyone and having to answer their questions instead of being like, look at your player aid.
All right. Well, let's move on to our commendations.
So I really like puzzly games. We're trying to figure things out or find the best path to do something. And I enjoy that aspect of this game with the marbles. Like, how can I move them to get the actions that I want and be efficient and keep Kevin from getting what he wants, if possible. So the marble moving aspect, but then also on your player board with the stars and
the proto-life.
The proto-life.
Yeah.
There are things that let you move those around, and it just kind of...
It's a real tactile game.
Right. It's not like, oh, I've placed it there, it's going to stay there the whole time. Yeah. It's like, oh, I could reuse it, or how do I place these nebula so that they can synergize together. So I really like those aspects of this game.
One of the things I really like are the bonus cards. We mentioned them a little bit previously, but they can really help you out, especially if you get some that sort of synergize together, they work together. That I will say, I played this a number of times. It seems like there are some power cards that just are better than other ones. And I get ones like, why would I destroy a supernova just to do this one thing? Or why would I get rid of all this other stuff? And there's like, all you have to do is spend a card and get this other like really cool thing. And the other thing I will say about bonus cards that I kind of find pretty interesting are you're spending cards that match in order to get a bonus card of that kind. And I think I've played games where I'm like, I actually only want 1 or 2 bonus cards because I'm doing really well with those 2 cards. Instead of spending cards to get more bonuses, I actually found that actually inefficient for that game. But sometimes I'm like, I actually want 4 different bonuses, and then they give you the little power benefits on the different actions as a not a main action, but the little side
for the passive.
The passive benefits. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I was definitely going to mention those power markers that are tied to the power cards, the bonus cards, the power cards. It's nice to be able to get your marker on the board because you're going to get one of that thing.
I know.
No matter what. Even if people move all the marbles away and all of that, you're going to at least get one of that passive ability, which can be really helpful in your planning to kind of reduce some of the randomness. And I do agree with Kevin that the power cards are pretty awesome. And there are a few that I'm like, I don't want that one. Okay. The good news is you're usually drawing several and can pick from them.
Another thing I like about Crafting the Cosmos are sort of like the streamlinedness of the game. I like games where people can be doing things on their turn and it's not their turn, which this game allows for that with a caveat. There's the crafting phase, the energy phase, and the crafting phase. You can do some crafting because most of that's on your board while other people is doing the next sort of the energy phase of the next turn as they're moving things around.
So like on Kevin's turn, he does his energy phase, and while he's doing his crafting, I can do my energy phase. So I can be doing things on the main board while he's working on his personal board.
The one caveat is the person really should try to finish their crafting phase before the next person starts their crafting phase. Because there are some in-game things that are happening. Cards are moving. There's just the balls are moving. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, getting the life tokens. The person whose turn was before you needs to make sure they've gotten life tokens before you get life tokens. Right. Those sort of things. So you can't have like player 4 going while player 1 or 2 is still trying to finish it.
I do like that it's not just, I take my whole turn, someone else goes. You can sort of do some things or even prepare, for the next turn.
Yeah, so reduces the downtime, which Kevin appreciates.
All right, well, let's move on to our conclusions.
So I really enjoyed my plays of Crafting the Cosmos. I was really excited to try it out when I first saw it, and I like the puzzliness of it, moving the stars around, moving the marbles around. So it has a lot of things that I really enjoy.
Okay, really?
Really, really. But. And this might be because we've played it several times in a relatively short amount of time. So sort of back to back. And by the 3rd or 4th time, I was feeling a little samey. Okay. Some of the like excitement wasn't necessarily there because it was like, I've seen most of these power cards. Okay. I kind of know the flow of the game.
Sure.
So I was feeling a little more lukewarm on it than when I first tried it. So I think for me, I still think it's a really great game, but I'm going to want to let it sit a little while between plays so that when we do pull it back out again, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this puzzle. I remember having a lot of fun with this and reintroducing myself to it again.
For me, I think this game plays best at the 3-player count because if the 4-player you do get blocked, and I kind of, that feels bad. But I do kind of like the challenge of the 4-player. So it's really for your type of game. If you enjoy, like, I'm okay with that tension on I could get blocked, then you should be okay with the 4-player. If you're like, I really don't like those kinds of games, I want to be able to do what I want to do, then I would recommend playing this at 3 or a lower player count. Also, Melissa and I have played this quite a number of times. I would say you're going to do a lot better in this game than a person just picking it up and playing it their first or second time. There's just so much nuance, that connectedness to building your nebulas and getting those proto-life and the time track and how it all sort of works together with the bonuses. You sort of know what works well together.
Oh yeah, kind of like you can see the connections and be thinking further ahead.
So just a caveat, that kind of is really important in this kind of game. Also, I like this game because it plays in about an hour to an hour and a half, and that to me is the sweet spot for these types of strategy games. It's not going to go too long playing the game. There is an ending to the game, and there's, whether it's the time track, which I might push a little bit, or just the goal cards, you're like, oh, the game will end soon. It's not going to be, it's going to be another 2 hours,
Yeah, there is a maximum number of rounds because of the goal cards. But it could end earlier.
Right, so I appreciate that in these types of games, in these strategy games. I just like, there's an ending, I won't feel stuck, which I like in that game. So for me, if someone said, do you want to play this game? I'd be, yes. I don't know, like Melissa, I think maybe let it sit for a little bit before I get it back out again. I might not be right now pulling it off the shelf and wanting to play it. But if someone says, would you like to play Crafting the Cosmos? Oh yes, I would love to play it, and I'll try and beat you.
And the components are really cool to play with too.
Well, check out Crafting the Cosmos from Office Dog, and please like and subscribe.